What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Lace 'em Up podcast. This is take 2. So, we just recorded an absolutely amazing episode. And
it was a banger.
My audio crapped out. So, what we're going to do, honestly, we're not going to half-ass it the second time just because we have to re-record. We're going to bring that energy back again and you know, try to recreate that magic that we just had. So
yeah, I'm gonna try at least. I must speak for myself and say I'm gonna try.
No. You will and you shall. You
All
will
right,
and you
mate.
shall.
All right, mate.
As we always do, we're gonna just hop right into our stars of the week to start us off. Mr. KB, who was your star of the week this week?
My star of the week, the one, the only, Benjamin Simmons. Ben Simmons, my guy for all the
drama queen.
Drama queen shenanigans you've been putting out there, man. We'll talk about it. We'll get into it. Shout out my man Ben Simmons. You're my star. Not for the right reasons, but Benjamin, get your shit together, man. Who's your star of the week, young boy? Oh, sips of espresso. Is that what it is?
No, it's not espresso. It's a peach tea, not a sponsor. So, my star of the week, it kind of rhymes with peach tea. His name is GSP, but
you should be a goddamn rapper. We've been talking about this, bro.
Yo, but GSP, my personal GOAT, Canadian GOAT of MMA for me at the very least. Just got inducted to the Hall of Fame, so shout outs to GSP, my personal star of the week. But yo, so honestly, we had a great time talking about this in our first take. But
yeah.
Oh, speaking of first take, so Mr. Sass, Mr. Stephen A. Schmitty, or how I like to call him Mr. Stephen A. Snake, because the way that this guy's been moving lately. So we're gonna play y'all a clip, and then we're just kind of like gonna break it down for y'all, the situation and how we feel about Mr. Stephen A. Mr. Sass. So.
But it didn't seem like you and Max had a bad relationship at all. So where do those rumors come from, and what's the truth with the departure of Max Kellerman from First Take?
Well, the rumor's accurate in terms of me wanting him off the show. Let's get.
So, y'all heard that, right? The rumor is accurate as far as me getting him off the show. Mr. Sass. So, the thing is apparently it's been a known thing at First Take that Stephen A. Smith has been trying to get Max Kellerman off the show for since they've been on together. And the thing with Sass is it's very clear that this guy doesn't like no competition. You know what I mean? He can't have someone else on the show that challenges him in any way, shape, or form.
At least this is how we see it, but that's not what he says.
That's not what he says. So we're not gonna be those guys who just like take that little clip and don't discuss the rest of the things that Stephen A. said on the show that day. But this is a Hot 90 clip from Hot 97. Ebro, Rosenberg, and those guys interviewed Stephen A. Smith. And he basically admitted to getting Max Kellerman off the show, but he kind of worded it in a way where he said, I felt like he wasn't a challenge anymore. I felt like the show was getting stale, so I wanted to switch it up. I think that's bullshit personally, but like KB, I don't know how you feel about it. You feel like he's
I don't even know how to go about all of this, to be honest with you. It's like okay, we see the show, we see First Take, and we see Stephen A, we see Max Kellerman. Stephen A, he doesn't want that. He wants the show to be him, about him. He wants people to watch this because it's Stephen A, not Stephen A and Max Kellerman. I feel like within the past year, 2 years maybe, we've got accustomed to what Max Kellerman would say, like whether it's a hot take, whether it's a debate that they have, whether it's the dumb things that he says. It's just there are people that watch this because Max Kellerman is on the show, not just because it's Stephen A. And for me, I feel like Stephen A doesn't like that Max is getting the attention that he's getting.
And Max Kellerman too. The thing is like from what I've been seeing, like I didn't know that he was loved like this. People have been saying like Max Kellerman's for the culture. You know what I mean? He's for the
exactly
guy, right? Yeah. So and the meme that's going around right now is that Tyrell Owens
Big
legendary,
T.O.
legendary football player.
Yes, sir.
He basically said that Max Kellerman was blacker than Stephen A. And I think, everybody's like, yo, that's the day Stephen A. said, I'm getting this guy off the show. Because, like, yo, that's ultimate disrespect for Mr. Sass, man. Like, that's a little too much to handle, bro.
The one from New York? You gonna tell this guy from New York that?
Excuse me, sir. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Get off the weed.
Where the hell is Max Kellerman even from? The Bronx.
Yeah.
Max Kellerman is from the Bronx. You gonna tell a boy from like Stephen A. from New York that he's not, that a boy from the Bronx is what? Nah, man.
Yo.
Anyways.
But like the thing is, the reason why why Tyler Lowen said that was because with the Colin Kaepernick situation. As we know, Stephen A. is like very much a company man, so he obviously understood Kaepernick's what Kaepernick did and obviously agreed with it. But he also was saying that Kaepernick is like not out there trying to like find himself a job or do. I forget what exactly the argument is, but anyways, basically. It seems like Tyler Owens didn't agree with what Stephen A. was saying, but he agreed with what Max Kellerman said on the topic, and that's why he kind of made that comment of like Max is looking blacker than you right now. But
he was a funny ass character though.
But that's kind of just been a thing that like why some people really like Max Kellerman is like even the discussion of like players in the NBA smoking weed and like how Stephen A. is like, yo, you're not allowed to smoke weed, this, that, this, where Max Kellerman is like, yo, you're just a human, weed doesn't do nothing to you and you should be able to enjoy it as a player, right? So this is kind of the whole situation for Steak so one thing you guys need to do, first off, you need to go watch that interview with Hot 97 and watch Stephen A. Like it's a decently long interview, but for the first like 10 minutes or so, he talks about the whole Max Kellerman situation. And then what you need to do is you need to go watch Max Kellerman's last day on the show, because literally Max Kellerman's reactions, it's just when you have that context, it makes everything like it makes that last day clip just so funny. So Stephen A. didn't even show up. He had an excuse. Yeah. He had an excuse. Like
he was sick. He was sick. Yeah, he had to get his nose surgery. You know what I mean? But once again, I said that before. Who scheduled the surgery? It was Stephen A. himself. He knew he wanted Max out. He also knew when Max's last day was gonna be. He also knew also knew that he had surgery. Therefore, he also knew that he couldn't look at Max straight in the eyes with
bro, that shit was bullshit, man. That was bullshit. He didn't want to show up in person. You at least see like Stephen A. is on the phone with something to say, and then you at least see Max Kellerman like perk up, and like now that you have context, it's kind of just like, yeah, bro, let me hear that bullshit. You've been trying to get me fired. And honestly, shout out to Max Kellerman for being professional. He's out here getting clowned by Stephen A. and freaking Kendrick Perkins.
Big Perk.
Kendrick Perkins, a man who just put like Karl Anthony Towns and Bam Adebayo on his top 5 power forwards. Like I didn't know they played power forward. Last time I checked, they played center. So if you're getting clowned by Kendrick Perkins, like you know what I mean, to not say anything back to him is just like I call that resilience, bro. Because that guy is. I won't diss any more than necessary.
Yeah. You can't disrespect Big Perk. That guy, he had an impact on KD's OKC team and LeBron's Cleveland team. Okay, that's Big Perk. Right there.
An impact. Sure, he did. But you guys need to go check out that Hot 97 interview and then right afterwards watch Max Last Day. But
yes, sir.
KB, what do you think? Do you think Stephen A. like wanted Max off the show? Like, do you think it was a personal thing, or do you think like do you believe his story of like, oh, I needed to switch it up?
Well, I definitely don't believe his story. I don't believe his story, but I also don't believe he had anything against Max as a person. Like I feel like it's more of a he wants the attention, he wants it to be about him, and that's pretty much it. Like the boy said it himself on the Hot 97 interview. Like he wants his own show, he wants a late night show, he wants the attention to be on him. Therefore, the fact that First Take was not just about him. Yo, I know people that watch First Take just because of Molly.
Really?
You know what I mean? Bro, people watch First Take because have you seen Molly, bro?
Yeah, she's bad, but she doesn't speak.
She doesn't, but whenever she does, it's like it's worth listening to.
Oh my god, bro! Just follow her on IG or something.
Bro. Yo, having her live on the show is a different feeling. But anyways, like,
so you're one of those people who watch First Take just.
I don't even watch First Take, bro. Relax. I'm talking shit. But anyways, Anyways, I don't believe the story. But I also don't believe he had a thing against Max. I feel like I said, he wants the attention. He's an attention whore. He wants everything to be about him, which I don't blame him for. But buddy, like the spotlight can't just be for you, Stephen A. Like you've done your damage. We hear your voice. We know who you are because of all your tantrums and all that bullshit. But you know, it is what it is. Max got to go some way somehow. We saw Max on I don't even know what that show is called actually. I know it's with J Will, but I don't know what that show is called.
KJM or something. KJM.
Yeah, I don't even know. But
it's the three hosts' first initials or something.
Yeah,
KMJ,
yeah.
KH, KJM, something like that.
Something like that.
But he looks a lot more at peace.
Yeah, he looked more like comfortable, like more like
because he's not getting dissed all the time. Stephen A couldn't wait to eat that guy alive.
Exactly.
Yeah. But Max Kellerman, like, the reason why I liked him and the reason why I thought the dynamic with him was good on the show, like, he's had some hot takes, bro. Some
really hot takes, yeah.
Like, I want Iguodala. Give me Iguodala.
like we all clowned him for that. Like, I clowned him for that. It's like, why would you say that,
I'm still happy it happened. Like, you know what I mean? It's a legendary meme.
Exactly. I'm happy it happened because as of today, like, we know, like, we like Max because of stuff like that, you know? But I don't know, bro. Like, I don't feel bad for him because I know he's gonna find another job and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's more Stephen A. Because Stephen A. ever since the Steve Nash stuff, like saying that he didn't deserve the job because like he only got the job because he's white and not because like as if he's not a Hall of Fame player. Like, you know, this Stephen A. He's been rubbing me the wrong way.
It's like he's. Like you said, like he's trying to play. It's like one time he plays this side, the other time he plays that side. It's the same, like this whole Colin Kaepernick situation. Like I feel like that's what he does. Even with Steve Nash, like I know, like people respect Steve Nash around the league for what he's done. He's never won a championship, but people respect Steve Nash as a hooper. They respect as his basketball knowledge. They respect him as a person. So him getting a job with Brooklyn is not. It wasn't surprising to me. Yes, there are coaches that deserve jobs. That's facts. And Steve Nash being his first time in, having to deal with like three freaking with the championship team on at first. Yeah, it's not ideal, but yo, man, like his skin color is not the reason why he got the job, my guy. Like, no. But you know, that's Stephen A. antics for you.
But let's talk about a little. Something else a little fun. So for the Stephen A. thing, you don't believe it, right? Like you think that like he wanted Max off the show just like point blank.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, I think the same. I think Stephen A. Snake just didn't like Max Kellerman and he didn't want him on the show no more.
Yeah, exactly.
He like honestly the way that he wants the show to be is not gonna make the show successful because like he wants to have like a screaming match with people and it's like. People enjoyed watching Stephen A. scream and then Max Kellerman come in and just be calm and like be able to talk about a subject in a calm, like, you know, calculated way and actually have a conversation. Like we want to hear a conversation and then see Stephen A. spaz. We don't want to see Stephen A. spazzing and then another guy spazzing and them trying to talk over each other. Like no, like that's stressful. We ain't trying to watch that. But
exactly.
But yeah, man. Stephen A. Snake, we see what you're doing out here. I ain't watching First Take no more. You evil man. But let's move on to like a pretty cool documentary that's kind of making the rounds in the sports world right now, specifically the hockey world. So
yes, sir.
The Danbury Trashers. The documentary is called Untold Crimes and Penalties on Netflix. You guys should definitely take a look at it. But spoiler warning, we're kind of going to talk about it a little bit. But basically how I stumbled upon this was Mr. Jizzy Drake, the Six God himself, posted like a picture on IG with him, with the Danbury Trashers jersey. And I was like, Danbury Trashers, what is this? So I'm like looking them up. And I find an interview with AJ Galante, who he ends up being he was the manager of the Danbury Trashers at the time, right? The GM. So, in this interview, he basically just tells a story about like, oh yeah, Drake like just called me. He's like, oh, while I was taking a break from making my album, I saw this documentary. Like, this is sick. I need a jersey and I need one with your name on it. So AJ Galante tells the story about how he's like, yo, I don't have these on hand, so I'm just gonna. He's like, I just drive to my office because I remember I had one frame there, cracked the frame, gave it to my guy, have him drive it up to Ontario, and then Drake had a guy come down and meet his boy, and he got the jersey. So I'm like, okay, man, if Drake thinks this documentary is sick, and it's a hockey documentary, because y'all know how I feel about hockey, clearly. I'm like, yo, I need to peep this, right? So
We also know how you feel about Drizzy Drake.
I mean, I like Drake, but like, you know, like I like Drake. I don't. Well, anyways, that's besides the point. Like,
He's just
that's besides the point. Like, we don't need to talk. This is not a music podcast, you know. So we can leave that.
my bad,
We don't
man.
need to discuss
My
that.
bad, man.
But yeah. So, basically, this documentary, AJ Galante. He's like, so his dad is what was dad's name again?
Jimmy the mobster.
Jimmy the Mobster Galante. So he had like a trash business. So that's why this team ended up being called the Trashers. But anyways, he had the trash business to kind of hide his criminal activities. You know, that's like his legit business, right? So he had this trash business. He's in the mafia, etc., etc. His son like takes a liking to hockey, and then at some point his son got injured while playing hockey. He liked, you know, like fighting, checking all that stuff. Like he liked the rough part of the game, and then he got hit and he basically got injured to the point where a doctor told him like, yeah, man, you shouldn't be playing hockey anymore. So the dad,
Yeah, sure.
being the rich mafioso he is, he's like, yo, you know what, man, I'm gonna buy you a hockey team and you're about to be the manager. So the story is absolutely ridiculous. Like he basically builds a team of just pure goons, and they just beat the hell out of everybody they meet in the league. But he actually was able to make a competitive team, and this is like a professional league, right? So this is like same level as CHL type of league, where these younger players might go to the NHL one day, and then obviously like some adult players play in those leagues too, guys who couldn't make it to the show,
Yeah.
and they bring in like Brent Gretzky, which is like Wayne Gretzky's like younger brother. He wasn't a great NHL player, but they bring him in just for the Gretzky name, like
The name.
and
That's what sells.
and like they just become this whole phenomenon. But yeah, it's a great story. Like you need to check out this documentary, and there's so many characters like in this story. You know, like there's my favorite guy was the equipment manager. So this was like AJ Galante's old. And by the way, this kid's 17, right? So he's a 17-year-old general manager for a team. But yeah, he brings in like his old hockey coach, and this guy becomes the equipment manager for the team. So so he's like giving away like a piece a towel that's like as thin of a one-ply piece of toilet paper to like be the towel for the whole team, and he's like turning off the hot water, and he's like cutting
what the hell they're doing, yo?
Cutting hangers, like cutting the bench, and like he's doing a bunch of pranks on them every game, like mental warfare with the players. So but the players, the opposition team, and he's literally a caricature, man. Bald guy, big cigar, like, you know, like kick back. It's
A mobster.
It's, you guys definitely gotta watch this documentary, man. I can't recommend it enough. So like
100%. And no, it's not sponsored. I said that before. I'm gonna say it again. It's not sponsored. Y'all just go watch it, bro. It's worth it. It's worth it.
Definitely
It's
worth it.
You don't even have to like the sport, bro. Just go pay attention to some real mobster shit.
Yeah, it's more about the mafia side of things than the actual like hockey team itself. But yeah, but now let's we talked about Stephen A. We talked about like this Danbury Trashers documentary, but now let's actually hop in to some real sports events that have been happening. So
Yes, sir. UFC 266.
yes, sir. UFC 266. So, obviously we kind of like, unfortunately, like I said, because this is our second take, we already kind of discussed our talks on it and had our back and forth. But we'll kind of go over like some of our favorite fights, or our favorite fights of the nights, or our fight of the night, I guess we could say. So, KB, how about you go into it first, bro? What was your favorite fight of the night?
Well, first of all, my favorite fight of the night was the Ortega fight for sure. But I want to give a shout out to my man Nick Diaz because it was the first time I seen him fight. And yesterday when we were watching him, people were saying that he didn't fight since 2015. But once again, it's like I understand the legend behind the name or the name behind the legend, whatever people want to say. But to me, he looked old. He didn't look like he could fight. He had the right technique because I guess, you've been in the game for a minute. You still have the technique. You still know what you want to do. You know what I mean? It's like if I put Michael Jordan on the free throw line right now, he's probably hitting 10 in a row without missing. But to me, he looked like he was past 50. He looked like he was not having it. Like, I don't know.
He still had he had a great fight. Him and Robbie Lawler are legends. They banged it out. He beat out a little bit, in my opinion, at the end. Like, he could have probably got a little bit further.
Yeah, exactly.
But for the amount of fighting he did, it was a pretty entertaining fight.
You see, even when you speak about him, I can hear not. There's still respect behind the boy because I'm guessing you see him
he's
fight
a
more
legend.
than just
He's a legend. I mean,
exactly.
bro, look how he looked when he was young compared to now, man. Like, it's ridiculous.
Exactly.
I barely recognize him.
I was looking at pictures from him. Yeah, exactly. I was looking at pictures from him before, and it was like, nah, that's not the same guy. But for me personally, since it's the first time, it was my first time watching him fight yesterday. It was like, damn, why do people appreciate this guy so much? He must have done stuff in the past that have been legendary. Because what he did yesterday, he had a good fight. Don't get me wrong, but he just looked old. He didn't look like right now. Ever since I've been watching UFC, the guys that I like to watch, like Israel, Kamaru, these guys, to me, they bring the heat, they bring the fire. But I guess that's because they're young and it's their time to shine right now. Nick's time's probably already over with. He's almost 40, the boy. So yeah. I'm
they're definitely legends. This is they're not prime. They're definitely not prime. But
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, my fight of night for sure is definitely the Ortega fight as well. And we'll get into that because that was an insane fight, legendary fight. But we'll talk about Valentina Bullet Shevchenko first.
The one that dances on her opponents.
Yep, a little ballet pirouette at the end of every fight.
She crazy with it.
But I said this before and I'll say it again. Valentina, she, even over Amanda Nunes, me personally, she's my favorite female fighter to watch just because of how technically sound she is. She's so fast, so accurate, and I don't have much to say about the fight because I knew the results before the fight even started. Lauren Murphy, she
didn't look hit one time.
Yeah, bro. She Valentina Shevchenko is actually a beast. She is unfazed. No one's competition for her. She's just nasty.
Every single time I look at Lauren Murphy now, I'm just gonna laugh because she was literally just a punching bag. She was just taking hits yesterday, kicks, hits. I just the whole fight, the whole time, I didn't look at Valentina like she was hurt. Not even one time.
Yeah, bro.
She had the thing under control. It went well for her. It was a really good fight too. She's a champion for a goddamn reason.
Yeah, she picks her opponents apart. It was a no competition type of fight, but Valentina retaining her belt, respect to the champ, just keep doing your thing, keep entertaining me because I love watching Valentina fight. But yeah, for me and for KB, our fight of the night, the most entertaining fight and probably one of the most legendary fights for that weight class was Ortega versus Alexander the Great Volkanovski. So honestly, an absolutely ridiculous fight. And in the post-fight press conference, Volkanovski was kind of talking about KB. You remember in the third, I don't know if it was third round, but at one point Ortega was kind of rocked, and they had to check up on him. They had the doctors come and ask him hey, how many fingers am I holding up, blah blah blah. And Volkanovski was like, yeah, I was listening. He just didn't answer anything right, or they were telling him go this way and he went the other way, and he was out of it. And then they asked him one last question and he answered it right, and they put him back in. But then he said yeah, but he hopped right back in and started hitting the punches just like nothing happened. So it was an absolutely insane fight. We were watching with our boys. And it was kind of nice because me and KB, we wanted Ortega to win, and then our other boys, they wanted Volkanovski to win. So it kind of added a little fun to the dynamic of, having the guys in the room cheering for each fighter. But This fight was absolutely insane. Shout out to freaking Brian Ortega, because even after he had to get checked up on, he still like made it all the way to the end. He was a beast. He fought through it, and he almost
And he showed his respects too.
yeah, and he almost won that belt, bro. Because in the third round was an absolutely one of the most insane rounds I've ever seen. Ortega gets Volkanovski in a chokehold, and then he also gets him in a triangle choke with the leg too. So, but that chokehold was like,
A lot of times.
go ahead.
Yeah, a lot of times during the fight though, like I thought it was gonna be over. Whether it was when they asked him questions about how he was feeling, or even the chokehold, or he had him in a choke twice, right, or 3 times. Twice.
So one was the choke with the arm, and then the other one is called a triangle choke. So he had his leg around him, and then
Yeah, and all that I thought the fight should have been done, but like people say, right? It was the main event. We gotta keep it going. It was a good fight though, great fight. I like Terry said, like we wanted Ortega to win, but it didn't go that way.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, it was a great fight.
Yeah, like Volkanovski literally said like he said like, oh, I thought like I was about to lose the belt, but like he fought through as a true champion does, and got out of it. But like, man, Ortega was even saying like I heard him gargling and stuff like while I was choking him. And you guys tell me, like, you guys can, if you watch the fight or if you're gonna watch highlights later, like my man's cue ball Volkanovski, bro, that guy was looking like a blueberry in that chokehold. Like, I'm no joke, his whole head turned, like, he's bald, so his whole head turned purple while he was in that chokehold. I'm like, oh, this is over. But he got out of it.
Oh no!
Respect to the champ.
Yes, sir.
We see you, bro. What a great fight. Absolutely.
Yes, sir. Even though you're short, I still fuck with you. I still respect you.
Short king. But yeah, bro. So we spoke about Nick Diaz earlier, but now we're about to talk about another legend of the game, Mr. Johnny Bones Jones, Mr. Johnny Cuts Another Case Jones. So honestly, man, like I said, this is a take 2 for us. So we already had the depression of talking about the situation, but Jon Jones. Can you please get control of yourself, bro?
Fix up, man.
When your boss is saying we can't bring this guy to Las Vegas because he always causes problems, like when your boss is saying the city where his business is conducted, he can't have one of the greatest fighters ever in this game come to that city, that's when you know there's a problem, bro. My guy, he literally got inducted in the Hall of Fame. That's why he was in Las Vegas. He got inducted to the Hall of Fame. He went there to win an award. No less than 12 hours later, this guy gets charged with misdemeanor, battery, domestic violence, like injury. Bro, dude, like it's so funny too, cause like
what are you dealing with, bro? What are you doing?
Bro, like you see the
my
pictures of him like
God.
with his family, his wife and kids and stuff, all smiling. And then no less than like 12 hours later, this guy's out here. I don't know what exactly he did, but like misdemeanor, battery, domestic violence, like he must have like swung a fist at somebody or something. Like
Bro.
he's a messed up dude, but like
Yeah, he must have been angry at something, bro. I wonder what it was.
oh, he was definitely
what it
off
was.
drugs, alcohol, everything. Like he was just definitely messed up. He
I don't think I've seen him fight either.
No, you haven't. Like you haven't seen, because he hasn't fought in a minute. He's been supposed to. He's going up a weight class to heavyweight, but like he hasn't really been able to. He hasn't been. There's been some money disputes and things like that, so we haven't really seen him fight yet.
Bozo.
But yeah, that's all I have to really say about Jon Jones. Like I think we spent a little bit more time on it in take 1, but it's kind of like this is just it's a broken record at this point. My guy's catching a case like every 6 months. Like Jon Jones, bro, fix up. So.
It is.
Yeah. So let's hop into the Leafs preseason. So I think we kind of both agreed on who we thought was like the biggest standout of this preseason game, Mr. Willie Styles. Yeah, Bogarson.
The hot boy.
Willie
hot boy.
Willie looks good, man. He looks like he caught his stride last season and he's starting to get his consistency up, and that's all we want to see. So he's looking good. Otherwise, though, with preseason, there's not much more to say because some of the new pieces we haven't really seen. We saw like Michael Bunting. He looked all right playing with JT, but we haven't been able to. Like we saw Robinson, who made the team last season, but he's been injured. Mm-hmm. He got injured, so he lost his spot. He's
they looked comfortable yesterday, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, they look comfortable. They look comfortable playing though. But like I said earlier, like I was on some blah blah blah. Like how can this be the team that they lost to in the playoffs? But
Yeah,
I
no,
look
but
at
they had no
Montreal and like
starters. Yeah.
yeah, like, exactly. Like no starters. It's a preseason. The hype is not the same. Like once again, like the fact, like you said, like it's like I haven't been watching hockey for a while, but you can tell the difference between playoff hockey and like the preseason during the season. Playoff hockey is like a completely different atmosphere. Yo. So
Completely different.
hopefully the Leafs make something happen this year and I see them boys in the playoffs because
Yeah. I personally really enjoy watching preseason just because you could see like the up and coming talent and kind of just try to figure out how guys will fit. But we haven't seen, I want to see Peter Mrazek, Nick Ritchie, Andre Kasha, the new players that are supposed to have a bigger role in the lineup, how they look. So, like every time we watch a preseason or whatever preseason games we get to see, we're gonna see a couple over the next like week, maybe even into next week. There's supposed to be 6 preseason games, so maybe the next 2 weeks, like me and KB will kind of talk about who we saw as a highlight. For now, it's only like Nylander is the only guy who really stood out. Good to see JT back again after the injury that he had last season.
Sure.
And the Leafs are looking all right, man. But we're all waiting for them to actually do it when it really matters.
Sure.
But so there's a clip that we want to show you guys right now. Unfortunately, because like I said, this is like I'm gonna keep mentioning this is take 2, so you already know what the name of the episode is gonna be. KB, we've already seen like KB's reaction, like which unfortunately, he's heard it already, but we'll play it again for y'all just so you kind of hear this clip. It's Jack Hughes on his brother Quinn Hughes contract disputes with the Vancouver Canucks. So listen to this right here.
Awesome. Quinn in Vancouver is waiting on a deal, and don't worry, I'm not going to ask for the inside track no matter how many Canucks fans tweet into the show. I will leave that alone. But does seeing what he's going through right now make you think about your own extension, or can you just focus on hockey right now?
Yeah, just for me, I think I'm just going to focus on the game, let my planning do the talking, see how the year goes. But Quinn, he's deserved the money he should get. He's had 2 pretty good years. I know last year people were talking about his defense and his dashes, but when you play on one of the worst teams in the division and in the league, that's bound to happen.
So y'all heard this, right? Y'all hear how absolutely ruthless this kid is? His brother is trying to get paid right now. His brother's trying to get a contract. And this guy just said, oh yeah, he's playing for one of the worst teams in the league. Like, you know what I mean? Because he's saying, oh, his dashes, they don't really matter, right? Plus, minus. If the other team scores a goal while you're on the ice, you get a minus. So he was a minus player last season. And like that's what some fans are saying is like why he shouldn't, maybe should take a little less, whatever. But the main issue is they have a top defenseman, which is Quinn Hughes, and then they have a top center, Elias Pettersson, who you haven't got to see play, Killian, that they have to sign. And unfortunately, bro, number 1 center, that takes priority, and the slice they're cap strapped right now, like they're tight against the cap. And they got to sign these 2 young guys. Yeah. And basically what they're trying to do is they're trying to get, Quinn to sign a bridge deal. Like sign for 2 years, and then after 2 years we'll deal with this and we'll sign you to like your big contract when we can actually do it. Because obviously Pettersson's the priority and Quinn is not going to like that because, he wants to get paid as well. But
of course, but Quinn's young, no?
Yeah, but so is Elias Pettersson. So they're both young. Why should one get his contract and the other one shouldn't? Like I get his point of view.
Sure. Yeah.
But that's kind of the situation over there. So they're gonna sign this number 1 center, and then whatever is left of the pie is gonna go to Quinn. So that's why this contract negotiation is going a little south. But I just think it's hilarious how Jack Hughes just said his brother's team is one of the worst teams in the league when he's trying to actually like sign it, and he's an RFA too. That's the thing. So the Vancouver owns his rights. Like he could only sign with Vancouver unless they trade his rights to another team. But he's a restricted free agent. He's got to sign a contract there, and like his brother's not helping his case. And I think his brother also knows from experience because New Jersey itself is also not a good team. So. Just a funny little clip there.
They let that 20-year-old talk some shit on live television, bro. I can't believe they did that. But you know, like you said, he needs some media training.
He needs a media coach. But hey, man, it's kind of nice to see some players show some personality every now and then, though.
Yeah, that's true. But see, you get to actually hear where they're coming from and actually listen to their point of view. At least he sounded real as shit. You know what I mean? Like he was for real. He talked about the situation. He knew he knows what's going on. He also spoke on it from his own point of view. So, yeah, let's hopefully they fix that. You said Elias was injured last season.
Elias was injured last season. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But he's a number one center, man. Like he's their future. They gotta get him. Both of them are their future. But like I feel like number one center is always priority. But.
Hopefully.
Let's hop into some NBA, my brother. So your star of the week, Mr. Benny Boy.
Benjamin. Let me talk to you, bro. You got to fix up, bro. You really got to fix up. Like, a few weeks ago, Ben said, "I'm not attending training camp." Okay, boom. After that, my man said, "Oh, I'm never planning on playing a game for the Sixers ever again." My guy. After that, Matisse Thybulle, Joel Embiid, who else was involved? Tobias, I think, was involved. They said, "Oh, blah, 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 we're going to go talk to the boy. He's our teammate, this, that, whatever. We're going to fly to LA, talk to the boy." Ben Simmons, before my boys even hop on a plane, he said, "Nah.
No. Defensive player of the year, lockdown."
He said, "You gave him a double." Nah.
No.
So, I don't get it. I don't understand what he wants, but not right now. Not only he's hurting himself, but he's hurting Philly's chances at getting anything that's actually worth Ben Simmons.
Exactly.
That's actually worth Ben Simmons. Because right now the talks are what? John Wall? Are you really willing to take John Wall for Ben Simmons?
Broken, overpaid John Wall for Ben Simmons.
Exactly.
Like that's tough.
Yeah.
And like we were kind of saying this during take one, like we had it's kind of like a two-sided thing in this situation, right? Like I understand why Ben Simmons is upset. Like I understand why Ben Simmons is upset. He like for him, if I would be upset too if I heard what Doc Rivers and Joel Embiid said about him like at the end of the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you have your coach,
of course,
your head coach, and your basically de facto captain of the team, basically saying you're not good enough. Like we can't win with you. You know what I mean? And
exactly.
But at the same time, I get their point of view too, because Ben, like you got to be aggressive. You should like know how to take your free throws, and all we're asking of you is to.
Shoot the
goddamn ball.
But like once again, I'm saying this. I don't understand. Like I don't think the blame should be all on Ben Simmons for last year's loss. Like yeah, he has a big role in whatever happened and what went down. But at the same time, like bro, I've seen Doc Rivers win championships with a point guard that don't shoot the ball. So what's it? And Ben Simmons, I will argue, at 25 years old is better than what Rondo was at 25 years old. Defensively, offensive, not well. I'm not gonna say offensive, but
not
playmaking.
Playmaking better than Rondo.
Okay, now I'm gonna toss that. Defensively rebounding.
Don't talk about. You're talking about behind the back. But...
yeah. We gonna toss that to the side because I follow Rondo heavy. We gonna toss that to the side. But defensively rebounding, he can guard every single man 1 through 5. Like the only problem with this guy's game is the fact that he can't shoot the ball. He can't shoot. Like he really can't shoot, and his playmaking is not that bad. Okay, like it's not comparable to what Rondo did, but like at the same time, Doc Rivers should be able to do something with this team. Now the chemistry between him and Joel, that's another thing we have to talk about because Joel is just not. I thought, like you said before, like
Yeah,
I
but
thought
Ben
Joel was
Simmons
gonna be the one
can't.
to leave.
Ben Simmons can't be crowning the paint for Joel. Like Joel's the center, he should be on the inside, not Ben. Ben's a point guard. You should be
True.
shooting from the outside. That's what you're supposed to do as a point guard.
That's true, but I don't know, man. Like I feel, like you said, like I feel like when they did try him at the 3, it was good, but the fact that he stayed inside was the problem. But him staying inside, you could deal with that a different way. Like Joel Embiid being the center that he is, being able to stretch the floor. Ben Simmons having to stay inside should not be that big of a problem during 48 minutes. I personally, I don't think so. Ben Simmons grabs a rebound, can run it down the floor, boom, score, all the way on to the next one. Now, Joel Embiid, I don't know, personally, like, I never really, like, I like his footwork, but his game is not my, like, I don't know, I'm not going to go out of my way to watch a Joel Embiid game, you feel me?
Yeah, but I mean, he's clearly surpassed Ben as the best player.
Yeah. Obviously, like he has to be the face. Joel has to be the face of the franchise after this playoff performance. Like I feel like last year was still up in the air kind of thing. Like is Ben Simmons really gonna do this? Is Joel gonna be the guy? This, that, whatever. But like now I feel like Joel has to be the face of the franchise for them to even accomplish anything.
All I have to say to Ben, bro, is like stop being a drama queen. Get on the court. Once the team has some value for you, they're going to trade you and they're going to get something good for you. That's when you get traded. Because right now, if they trade you, they're not getting anything nice. And
he's just trying to do Philly dirty, though.
Honestly, bro, he's trying to do Philly dirty. But, like, my brother, I got you on contract for 4 years, bro. If I'm the owner, I'm telling my manager, make that kid sit. You're sitting for 4 years. Yes, and I'm going to Adam Silver, and I'm saying he's not showing up for me, so I'm not paying his salary. And Adam Silver is going to be like, okay, no problem. Because Adam Silver can't allow that, because then every player is just gonna do that whenever they want to leave a team, and then what's the point of a contract at that point? It's like, yo, Ben, you're on contract for 4 years. You want to lose 4 years of your career? No problem. You won't play in the NBA until you're 29. That's okay. And you won't get paid. Enjoy your new whip in your new house, Ben. Like, you know.
Benjamin.
Anyways, like, so
Benjamin, what are you dealing with?
I understand both sides, but Ben is being a drama queen, bro. Like, yo, just hop on the court and play some basketball, man. Once you show people like that you're still a star player and you can still perform, then you're gonna get traded. I know exactly what's gonna happen with Ben Simmons. As soon as he's in a different jersey, all of a sudden that jumper's gonna come alive, bro, and he's gonna become.
He's gonna shoot the goddamn ball, bro. He could be a problem. He could be a problem with that jumper, man.
If he adds, that's why everybody's so frustrated with Ben Simmons. If he adds a jumper, he could be one of the best players in the league. But he has no jumper, like.
Yeah, I like I said, like I feel like his game is still so much overlooked because he does not have that jumper. Like every single other aspect of his game is better than than most players.
He's an elite defender. He's a good playmaker. Like he's a good point guard, bro. He is.
Exactly. It's just that my man can't shoot the ball. Oh well.
But yeah,
goddamn Benjamin.
Speaking of another trader, another player who might be getting traded, Mr. Wiggins, Andrew Wiggins. So. So basically, what's been going on across like sports cities right now is like the vaccines basically becoming required to play the sport, right? Yeah. And in the mandatory, exactly. So in the NBA, wherever whatever state that the vaccine is mandatory, players who are not vaccinated can't play there. So Andrew Wiggins is gonna miss. I think. In Golden State, he can't play a game in Golden State, so he's gonna miss like half the games guaranteed because he's not vaccinated. The thing is, bro, like your team is not trying to hurt you, man. You're an asset, you know. Like they're not trying to like hurt your health in any type of way. So, my man's Wiggins, like you're part of the starting five, and if you can't have a starter in your starting five, especially with Clay coming back, missing half the games, like that's not an option.
And man, he made a request. He made a request for being exempt from taking the vaccine because of religious beliefs. Which, hey man, I'm a religious guy. I believe in all that, you know. But my guy, you're you're an asset. You know what I mean? You work for somebody outside of your country. That's one. Two. My guy, in order for you to bring your value up, you gotta perform. in order to perform, you gotta follow the rules. So, my boy, listen to my advice. Go get that man's vaccine and hop on the court. Because I need a championship run from y'all, bro. I need my boy Klay Thompson to be seen in the playoffs, to show y'all what he can do in Game 6, and actually show these guys and remind some of y'all that he's the best shooter the NBA has ever seen. That's all I have to say.
I mean, that goes to Splash Brother number 1, not Splash Brother number 2, but
Chill. Relax. That's we're about to talk about a man that scored 37 points in one quarter here.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, bro. But anyways, big Wiggins, man. Go get that damn vaccine, bro. Or else, I don't know what's going to happen. Or else you won't play.
But yo, that's all we got for today, people. Once again, this is take 2. Just in case y'all didn't know. We made it to the end. Tried to keep that energy up for y'all. You know, oh man, it's so tough because we had such a great first take, but hopefully I think we burned through it a little bit quicker because, like, you know, we shout
out Molly.
We who, Molly from first take?
Yeah.
I think we kind of ironed out like some of our disagreements, and it made it a little bit more streamlined. But hopefully we brought that energy again for y'all, and we appreciate y'all listening to the podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will catch you on the next episode. Take it easy.